Welcome to Comedians Interviewing Musicians by Music Firsthand, the live streaming podcast on YouTube where we talk with badass musicians. You're listening to Season 5, Episode 59, recorded on October 16th, 2018. From Hops and Grain with Becky Jo Neal and Zach Brooks. The musical guest is Fleckhouse. But first, did you know you could get exclusive access to content, merch, your own spotlight on the show, and more for as little as $1 a month? Join our community of patrons that make it all possible for us to showcase local artists. Sign up at CIMP.live. That's CIMP.live. And remember to give the podcast a 5-star rating. Every rating helps these artists get discovered by new fans. And now, brought to you by Music Firsthand and their live music booking app, here's Comedians Interviewing Musicians.
You may not know this, but we are here at Hops and Grain, the incredible sponsor of ours. We love them. Thank you so much for having us in this delightfully spooky environment. I'm getting tangled. It's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of webs back here.
It's going down. This is my stunning co-host, Zach Brooks. Give it up for Zach Brooks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all missed his stand-up, but Facebook, sorry, I'm talking to Facebook now. People in the audience have no idea. I'm talking to this space stick, and it's telling the internet what's happening. Internet, if you would like to ask any questions throughout the show, you can politely? Words.
Well, yeah, be
we're
polite
cornering
with
that.
it. Don't be rude with the
I'm going to
questions.
pretend that it's a word. Politely type in your questions. It doesn't sound right. I'm taking it back. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're comedians interviewing musicians. We are a weekly podcast where we seemingly funny people interview musicians every week. It's super, super fun. We pop around from venue to venue. It's dope. Follow, like, subscribe, yada, yada. You know the deal. Would you like to introduce our musical guest this evening, Zach?
Yes, I would. Guys, put your hands together for Fleckhouse, everybody.
Thank you. They say count your blessings, count your friends, and count your time. Count the stars, I count how much life passed me by. 'Cause I was counting, oh, they had me counting. They had me counting moments, didn't see their signs. They said fear the other, fear the changes, fear the fire, fear your chances, for you don't know what they are. They had me worried, oh, yes, I was worried. They had me worried, valor would break my heart. All this time I've been listening to voices tell me about the truth as if it were something subjective. When I need fall correction, if we shifted our perspective, came upon new evidence. All this time I've been listening, listening, not thinking, listening, not thinking, listening, not thinking, no. They said, here's the purpose, take these answers, seek the signs, lay your path out to what we find divine. They had me searching, oh, yes, I was searching. They had me searching through their light and not for mine. They said, trust in no one, run for cover, keep your guard, but they can't tell me how I should hold my heart. It belongs open, I know I'll keep it open. I'll keep it open, it shows me where the lights are. All this time I've been listening to voices tell me about the truth as if it were something subjective. When I need fall correction, if we shifted our perspective, came upon new evidence. All this time I've been
right, keep it going for Fleck House. Thank you
That
so
was
much for joining
awesome.
us again, Hops and
for having
Grain.
us.
Guys are the best. I was on my way here today on the phone with my friend, and he was like, "Oh, who are you interviewing tonight?" And I said, "Fleck House." He said, "Slut Cow." I was like, that is not better, but maybe more creative. Before I ask you to introduce yourself, did you guys have any like random bands before you just settled on the last name?
Yes, we
I want
did.
to hear them.
We thought of several puns that had to do with houses.
Yes.
Fleck House and the Lawn Darts. Fleck House and Hey You Kids Get Out of My Yard. Dom, you remember any of them?
The Foundations was
Fleck
a pretty
House and
good
the
one.
Oh, yeah, that's
Ooh.
good.
We were for a short time.
Threshold.
Fleck House and the Thresholds, and then we decided that was very confusing because it made us sound much like a rock band, and obviously not.
No one knows what a threshold is.
They
And
don't-
people
yeah.
like
The Threshold.
The
The
yeah, that
thrash,
sounds.
yeah, the threshold.
Yeah, the Thresholds, yeah. Holding on to that
Thresholds.
thrash.
Dibs on that band name. You guys can't have it. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves to lovely Facebook and Hops and Grain here?
Sure. Hello, Facebook.
Hello.
I am Megan Fleckhouse.
I'm Dominic Chaillot.
And I'm Kenzie Slotto.
And a quick shout out to our other band members, Molly and JJ, who are also here tonight but can't fit on stage.
It's a we're all working on it, Megan. You don't have to bring it up. It's fine. The holiday seasons are coming. We're puffing up for the winter.
It's intimate, you know?
It's about the talent on the stage, not the size of the stage.
There we go.
right.
How did you guys meet, and what all do you contribute to the band? I guess.
Yeah, so Dominic and I are the first members of the band, and we met because we were at a party, and Dominic was playing bass in the corner, and I was hammered, and I just thought, I'm gonna go drunk scat over top of this man's bass line. And at the end of the night, I was like, we should play music. And for some reason, he called me, and lo and behold, we started playing music together.
I actually like Dom's version of the story better.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's hear that one.
Take two. The true Hollywood
Yeah,
story.
Explain why you were just playing bass in the corner of a party.
Yeah, no,
It's his favorite.
that's pretty much what I do at parties.
Okay, all right, all right.
But yeah, no, my version of the story, it just has to do with why she walked over, and it's actually because I'm incredibly attractive.
That's what it is.
But anyway, moving on.
Oh, I met Megan at an open mic soon after she moved to Austin.
Oh, this is a whole different story.
Oh,
Y'all aren't
yeah.
even okay.
This-
If this was the Newlywed Game,
Yeah.
fail. Wait, so what was? Wait, you guys met at an open mic?
Yeah.
We met,
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you said he met. I was like, they didn't even remember the
Oh,
same
no,
thing.
no.
never mind.
I
Sorry.
met Megan at an open mic. They met at a party.
And we
Gotcha,
invited
gotcha.
Kenzie to jam with us one night, and she's like, so are you like looking for me to join your band? And I was like, if you're interested, and she goes, make me an offer.
Oh,
Oh.
Did that happen?
Write
yeah,
a,
yeah.
write
you're
a
like,
number on
make
a
me an
napkin
offer. And I was like, all
slide it
right,
across
here's
the
how it's gonna
table.
work. And she's like, I'm in. And that's how the three of us started playing together.
and when was that?
About 2 years ago.
I was gonna say I'm gonna backtrack because you are from New York.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I read that you went to go visit your aunt in North Carolina, and that, or is it, when
Yeah,
you were,
that-
after you were making music for some time, and you released like 4 EPs or 4 singles in one trip.
Oh yeah. That so I went to visit her when I was a wee lass, and she's
You have
like,
to say it with
"Sup-"
that hat on.
You have to.
Yep.
She's a wee little lass. And I don't know, she was like, hey, I know you're only here for one more day, but I know this guy, and he's got a studio, and he said he'd like record you for like $60 and just like send you out the door with something that day. And we recorded a couple little songs. I don't have those out or available, but one of them is in an indie film called King's
That's what I was gonna
Face.
say. Like,
yeah.
like where? How did that even happen? Like, did you
Great
pass
story.
it on to
That
someone?
ties it all in. Actually, my friend JJ, who just moved to town to be our drummer, his mother is really into me, and
Nice.
Total flirt.
she had the EP and is good friends with the wife of the director of that movie, and had introduced the music to her, and through her he heard it and said, "Oh, that's what I was looking for this one scene." And called me in, and we looked at the scene, and it fit, and it is, so there you go.
That's awesome.
That's dope. That's like, all
full
right, come
circle.
on, movie magic. If you could, I guess, write a song or a theme song for any favorite cartoon, TV show, what would all of yours be? No?
That's a good question.
mean, if you got to choose, if you were like, someone's going to pick
Buffy.
mine.
Buffy the Vampire
Buffy!
Slayer.
Buffy. Yeah.
Solid answer.
Buffy
Come on,
reboot.
Ben, with the mid-golf clap. He doesn't want anyone to know. Ben Levy watches Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's on the internet now.
Should we say it at the same time, Don?
We'd probably
Gilmore
do the
Girls.
Gilmore
Gilmore
Girls.
Girls.
Okay,
Aw.
nice.
I was really
Nice.
hoping it would be like ER, Grey's
gotta be
Anatomy,
a
you
fast-paced-
traitor.
We just finished watching the entire series this week for the first time, both of
Nice.
us. And my father is the one who recommended us the series, which blew my mind. I was like, my dad is recommending a show called Gilmore Girls. So I watched it, and you know what? It was funny. It was a good show.
It's funny. It's also so fast. I've never felt dumber watching a show.
That is how my family interacts. That is like, we're just, yeah, and I get very overwhelming for some people sometimes.
I guess it makes it like I feel like all my friends from New York, and I was a roommate with a girl from Rochester, and she was very much like all the time, but
Yeah.
everything landed.
It's
I
all
mean,
the
it wasn't
coffee.
like. What's I guess the biggest difference between Texas people and New York people? Is that a weird question?
It's probably the speed of talking.
Yeah.
Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
speed at which brain
Speed of
cells
talking,
fire.
speed of walking.
Yep. Speed of everything.
Driving.
Ability to drive.
Yeah.
Educational systems
as far as the
recognizing.
drug speed goes, Texas takes it though.
That's
it
true.
actually does. Yeah.
So how did all of y'all get to Austin? Where's everybody else from?
I'm from, well, I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and then I came down here because I was tired of snow, so I came to grad school
Amen.
down here.
Fair.
Yeah, I've been hopping around a little bit. The last place I lived was Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was just feeling, I'm a little gypsy soul, and I was just feeling like moving, and so I did.
Fair.
Nice.
Just like, why not Austin? Sure.
I moved here from New Orleans. My motorcycle broke down in the back of somebody's truck evacuating from a hurricane, and I stayed.
There, I mean, well, there we go. Like, well, I guess that makes sense. If do you guys all have like, you're from New Orleans, like with your musical connections with your hometowns, like how does that translate to the live music capital of the country? Like, where does your, I guess, your hometown route come into play as far as your artistry here?
I go back to Rochester, where I'm from, every summer to play. I just toured there this summer, and there's just a great little community of folks over there. I unfortunately didn't know them before when I lived there, but I've met a lot of people since touring back home, and I just feel connected to them through that, I guess, yeah.
I don't know. I guess my roots, the way that I play the bass when I think about playing it anyways, I think of it as somewhere between a drum and a horn. You'll notice I do a lot of things that are kind of clicky and tappy, and there'll be like harmonic notes and overtones and things like that. I think I took a lot of that from the music that I grew up with in South Louisiana. I also was born in Louisiana. I was raised in Canada between Montreal and Ottawa. So I definitely have a lot of those 90s Canadian bands kind of
You know, just
that
those
influenced me as well.
all the '90s Canadian bands.
I was gonna say, since you're from New Orleans, that I was hoping you're gonna say I just play bass at parties.
Just in the corners of
It
parties.
involves alcohol
That is also
every
true.
time.
He
Yeah.
does play bass at parties.
My flute playing is kind of based off of the melting pot of musicianship that is the University of Michigan. So there are a lot
That's awesome.
of Irish influenced musicians there, Celtic stuff, bluegrass, and then like contemporary classical, and just people coming from all over the world to play in that college town. So I have really eclectic flute styles, and I play my flute a lot like a drum in the way that Dom plays his bass like a drum. So
Awesome.
Everyone just plays instruments like it. And now I'm gonna
Which
have
is
to-
really fun for our drummer.
Yeah.
The drummer's like, son of a bit. Well, fine. He just gets up and storms out of everything. Do you guys want to play another song for us?
For sure.
All right, Hobson, go and give it up for Fleck House.
Thank you so much. And a little shameless plug here. This song is called Pitter Patter, and it is on our YouTube channel if you ever want to check out our music video of it. Here it goes. Pitter patter on my window makes me wonder what I don't know. I try to listen, read What's underneath? I got a few million needs deciding what I can heal. Only vital vibrations. Now I want more than just surviving. And I'm trying to understand this grand scheme. When I only have the tools that apply to me. Well, I don't mind if I don't find it. I love just spinning the wheels. Knocking on so many doors, trying to find a place I have not been before. Well, I think I'd see it if I could believe it, but there's only so much I know that I'm looking for. And I'm trying to understand this grand scheme. When I only have the tools that apply to me. Well, I don't mind if I don't find it. I love just spinning the wheels. Well, tick-tock goes the clock. It don't stop the walk for me to catch up or try to think of the strange things I'm made from. And I'm trying to understand this grand scheme. But when I only have the tools that apply to me. Well, I don't mind if I don't find it. I love just spinning the wheel.
Fleckhouse, everybody give it up. Give it up. That was amazing.
Damn. Brenda, our friend here at Music Firsthand, wants to know if you're a Jesse, Dean, or Logan. Jess, Jean, Logan?
Oh.
Jess? I don't know. Am I reading that wrong? I know
You know,
nothing
by the
about
end of the
Gilmore Girls.
series, I was a Logan. Yeah. He's cool. I'm sorry. He's
The
just a neat,
disdain.
interesting person.
That's
Started
fair.
off not liking him, but by the end of the series, I liked him.
Oh, Brenda's going Jess all the way.
Jess all the way.
Dom, anything? No?
You know, we just started the reboot or whatever, and we're kind of hoping to see Jess come back around. Yeah.
Jess is definitely featured in the trailer to the,
trailer,
reboot.
yeah.
So you know he's going to have the smallest part. They only do that.
They do.
This
they
is a
torture
Gilmore
like
Girls
that.
podcast now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Welcome to Comedians Interviewing Gilmore Girls.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. Thanks, Dad. That was your Pitter Patter. You just shot the music video for. What was the shoot like? What can people expect seeing you in your
Oh,
music
yeah.
video?
That was a really neat shoot. We were able to rent out this little place on the other side of town called
Infinite Monkey
Infinite
Theorem.
Monkey Theorem.
Okay, he was way too ready for
Shameless
that.
plug.
She was like, "Please fuck this up. Please fuck
Monkeys,
this
I wanna
up.
say
I
monkeys."
want to say it."
But it's a neat little joint, and it has graffiti all over all the walls. And so we set up in this little corner. Our friend Jace, who's just a phenomenal video producer and videographer, and her business partner, filmed the music video for us. We did it in about 4 hours, and we had a ton of fun with it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
What was the coolest part?
Oh, our drummer at the time had a shirt with Jesus on the back.
No, it was there's Virgin Mary.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in the
But I
video.
think she
Go watch the
interchangeable.
video if you want to see. It's like all blinged out and like it's like silk with like all these like gold little. And he like holds it up during the video and he's like, "Should I wear this?" And we're all like, "No," but it ended up in the B-roll on the video, so you can see it.
Great.
Should I wear this? Ended up in the B-roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like holding it up,
genius.
and we're like,
I also really enjoyed I was not in a lot of shots where there were close-ups of everybody else, so I was like dancing around in the corner trying to get them to look really, really animated, because you know, like on the video, you have to be more animated than you are in real life or in real performance. So I was like, doing my
You were the
little
one in the
dances.
back, like,
You
giggle
nailed
at
it.
mommy.
Yeah.
Like, look at mom.
Smile.
Eyes up here, honey.
Yeah.
Vaseline on the teeth. I like that. Showgirl mom. I'm a fan of that. So you just wrapped your second tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you toured all over the summer, correct?
Yeah, I was gone for about 2 months.
Jesus, where'd you go? What was it for? What happened?
I do it partly for my own fun. I love it.
Well, yeah.
I love, like I told you, I'm kind of a gypsy, so I like to kind of be moving around, and I can only afford to travel in the U.S., so I work travel. I go and I play shows, just enough to get me by. I think my net profit was $20 by the end of the summer.
yeah, I mean, like full
Yeah,
circle,
yeah.
just
Keep
keep it like, it's like, that's like extreme couponing.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yes.
But I used to play bass in this band called Sunshiner, so we did 2 weeks together over through like New Orleans, Jacksonville, where my folks live, and then up the East Coast, like a bunch of little cities kind of up there to New York City, and then over to Rochester, where I'm from. When we played our last show there, they flew home. And then I stayed in Rochester for about a month and played some shows there. And my best friend from growing up got married, and I was in her wedding, and I performed
Aw.
at her wedding. And then my brother hopped in the car with me, and he and I just kind of moseyed our way on back to here via like Pittsburgh and like kind of down the middle, like St. Louis, Indy, St. Louis, and like Kansas City. We did Boulder, Colorado,
Nice.
a little bit of New Mexico, and then came back to Austin.
Did you eat anywhere in Kansas City? I have to ask
Did I
him
eat anywhere
from
in
there.
Kansas City? Yeah, we stayed with his friend there, and we went to this little sports bar. I don't know that it was necessarily Kansas City
She's a
food.
vegetarian.
I am a vegetarian, so there wasn't really
gonna
much for me
say.
to eat there.
I like how you came in with that information.
I will hold testimony over this. I will physically fight Texas barbecue people. It's not my fault. It's in my blood.
Okay, all right.
I can't help it. The Chiefs lost their first game this week, so just like give me a fucking break. It's fine. You went to Hawaii for college
Yeah, for 1 year of college. Yeah.
to study astronomy.
Yep, I've been obsessed with astronomy since I was about 9 years old, and that was originally my career trajectory. But
So
shit got
badass.
weird over there.
Space
and,
freaks me out, man.
Yep.
And
No.
I ended up not doing it, and I was like a super huge nerd. Like, for all those Gilmore Girls fans, I was a Rory Gilmore. I was absolutely obsessed with my grades and, like, getting all the things done, and I actually didn't even end up finishing college, and now I'm a total hippie, and it's just like full circle. I don't know. It's
Why not?
kind of come around, but I'm really, really, really happy that it turned out the way it did, because I'm probably living the most ideal life that I could.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess question for all of you. Are there like pieces of your like former life, like, because in your bio on your website it says like pieces of her scientific brain like followed her into her writing, and you can kind of tell like in your lyrics they're very like
Yeah.
almost like wonderful, like wandering, kind of exploratory. So I guess what pieces of your childhood or your like curiosities that do you carry into your music? Is that too much of a meta question? Hashtag passes joint.
No,
What?
you can start. You can
Sure. I like to write a lot about just the things my mind wanders over, like little thoughts about life. I like writing about impermanence a lot, and time. I'm very obsessed with those two concepts, so I tend to write a lot about those. I don't know.
Is there anything you like sneak into your writing that you hope people somehow get but nobody ever does? Like, I feel like if I were a good musician, I would like Easter egg Gilmore Girls quotes into my shit.
Yeah. Just one reference.
We were waiting
Yeah.
to finish the series. Now we've done that, so I think we can
Like
start.
a Blade Runner quote somewhere.
What rhymes with Rory?
Just toss one in. No,
Yep.
I guess that's fair. Did you guys? I saw on your Instagram. Did you just do Austin Uncharted with Cassandra Elise? Is that now?
I've hosted the show with. I'm friends with the guys that put it on, and we're talking with them right now about putting Fleck House on the show, so we will
Hell
eventually
yeah.
be on there.
Awesome.
We did one years ago.
Before it was
Before it
Austin
was even
Uncharted,
Austin
while it
Uncharted.
was a show called New Shit, where our friend Sam Howden hosted, and just we just talked for like 2 hours and played some songs, and and it just did whatever it needed to do. And then, you know, Sam ended up going and doing his own podcast, and then the guys that were filming his podcast ended up making their own show, Austin Uncharted, for more organized, I think, musician, like kind of like this, like interviewing and like playing and like
Just
yeah.
berating people, like, where were you on the night of the... It's fine. Okay, so I also read that you named your stand-up bass Vivian.
Yes.
Is that... Okay. Do you name everything else? Because I name everything else.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Does your bass have a name? Flute have a name?
No, but my car has a name.
What's your car's name?
It's Gabrielle, after the second main character in Xena Warrior Princess.
Amen.
There it is. There it is.
Amen. That's badass. No name for the bass?
My bass doesn't have a name. My motorcycle has a name.
What's the motorcycle's name?
Her name is Evangeline.
Oh. I was waiting for a backstory like that. She was a stripper I met at a...
He's from New Orleans. What more do you need?
Right, there we go. She was a stripper I met. No, that's honestly Evangela. Oof. Do you have any other like named instruments?
Yeah, so my ukulele is named Ananat. It's a smush together of the two people that got me playing ukulele. This is Phineas.
Aw.
Eduardo is my piano. And I'm Megan. I have voice is technically an instrument, so my name's Megan.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was hoping to be like, I'm Megan, my voice, like Persephone. I don't
Total different personality. She says things, and I'm like, why did you say that?
Why would you ever? Okay, and you also got an LA Music Critic Award for Best Group in 2017?
Best group single, yeah. It was for our song
That's
What We've
dope.
Got, which
What
was
was the
recorded by
award
your
show like?
sound guy, Ben, here.
I was going to get to that, but I was going to make sure that he didn't know he was super important
He is
about
important. We like him. Don't tell him that, but we
No,
like
before
him.
we let Ben get before, what was the LA Critic, what was that like? Did you go to the award ceremony? What happened?
No, we didn't end up going, but it was through, so I don't know if any of you have heard of Indie Pulse magazine. It's like an online magazine, but it's through them. And so it's just like a bunch of fan voting, and also they have, obviously, the critics there in LA. There's like two ways, like they listen to the songs and are like, all right, we nominate these people and vote for so-and-so.
Right.
And then there's like a fan favorite where like the readers can vote. So we got actually both the best group single and also fan favorite that year.
Here we
But
go.
mostly because I made all of my friends vote on Facebook. So
You have to force your friends to vote every time.
We all know. Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing. I don't ever get nominated, but I know because my friends tag me. That's how that works. Well, it's fair. Okay. If you guys, I just completely lost my train of thought. ACL. Did you guys do ACL this year? Anything? You didn't like, I feel like most Austinites, if they're not playing, they're like running.
I ran favor.
Avoiding
You
it.
ran favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
For like 12 hours
Yeah.
a day, like every day. It was a
Oh.
lot of favor.
Get that money.
Was
that
it
money.
terrible? Were people awful?
It's nice because you're in your car by yourself, so you can kind of learn things and feel like you're not wasting your time too much. You
Right.
put on like podcasts or like
Yeah.
trying to learn Spanish, maybe, like
Eat-
those little tapes.
Eat just a little bit of the food, and then we'll never know.
Yeah, like I have no idea
Yeah.
where your fifth crab rangoon went. That's a
Yeah.
weird increment to come in for.
That's- Yeah, I know the menu
Call
said.
somebody. I don't know.
They would never know. Every favor I get to my house, I assume that the driver's eating a little bit of my food, and I'm okay
Why not?
with it. It's
I mean-
okay. You drove it here.
I'm not gonna tip you. I don't know why I was gonna say that. I'm gonna tip you. Please don't not pick up my rides.
Could I tip you in a bite? I'll just give you a bite right now.
You have a sliced pizza, man. It's yours. It's on the table right now. It's lukewarm because it's been sitting in your Kia for the last 20 minutes. This is a weird, spoopy venue because we're covered
Yeah, I
in
like
weird,
it.
fun spider webs and creepy baby faces that I'm luckily hiding with my ass right now. But where is the weirdest place you guys have ever played?
Oh, it was Golden House.
Oh yes.
What's
Megan's
Golden
gonna
House?
Tell them about it.
Yeah, we last year for South by Southwest, we were invited to play at this place called Golden House, which is like a house.
It's a hippie sex commune.
There it is. I like
I'm
how
gonna be
my,
real.
I like how my
Yeah.
man comes in with all the information we
The
need.
truth.
And I would like to
True
preface
story.
this by saying, like, my friend organized the event, so I got to show us a little bit of respect and like thank him for putting that on. And like, I think just by the time we got there, everyone was so gone on like whatever drug they were doing that
Sure,
like
sure.
the act before us went on like with fire dancing for like an extra hour and a half, and we had to like wait until like midnight to play. And then it was very just very strange. The whole experience was strange, but
The opener was
yeah.
our band, Thrashholds.
The
That's what it was.
Yeah. Well,
Was
we
it?
got
Thrashholds.
Oh, sorry.
we got to keep spinning the fire till it runs out. You know.
It's true.
One thing I noticed about that place, though, was that, and all Burning Man-esque places, are that the kids are super mature. They sound just like adults. They're
Yeah.
like
they're-
actual kids.
kids are
Or
probably the
like-
most
Kids, there
mature
were
people
kids,
at that
like,
party.
Yeah, there were
Wow.
lots of children
And,
there.
like,
There was an
you
entire
did-
building
Yeah.
of children.
They weren't doing the drugs, just to be clear,
No, no,
but
no,
they
no.
were
They were just
there
handing them
hanging
out and responsibly giving out water and towels.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, hippies party with their kids. That's
Yeah.
That's historically known.
Teaching responsibility, hand
Yeah.
mouth disease. I don't really know. Wait, Burning
I mean,
Man.
if you're gonna get messed up, I mean, that just the nice, safe house is the place to do it, I guess,
Yep.
right?
a
And-
literal babysitter
It
is
was a
going to work.
compound. It wasn't
It's-
a house. It was
It's a condo.
compound.
It was
Yeah.
a hippie compound. There were walls.
There were
Yeah.
walls. It doesn't make
There
it a
were
compound.
walls.
But I think
Walls.
It was
this is
it
the
was
perfect
walls.
place for it, right?
It's a
Austin.
compound. You start
Rich
putting
people
throwing
have
walls
walls
in the
around their
mix.
house,
I
you
think
know.
that's a
we're not calling-
compound when you have walls around your
Yep.
property.
I snuck into a commune's like respective like person's dinner once because it was a free potluck and it was good food. And then I figured that all of it was like vegan, and I was like, oh well. And I made some crack about it, and they were all looking at me like, you're
You're
not,
not
supposed to be. You're not Outlander.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, I guess we can finally talk about Ben Levy. That's fine.
There he is.
Give a round of applause to
Yeah.
our incredible sound guy,
Give
Ben
it up for
Levy.
Ben.
I say it every time. This is your intervention. Ben has been working with us for a long time. He's great. He also does a lot of other shit around town, including producing and helping y'all working on your album. What was it like working with Ben? Is he so mean outside of this?
Ben is probably the worst person I've ever met.
Yeah,
Yep.
amen.
No,
Yep.
he's actually my like I've worked with a few people, and Ben is my favorite. And for as long as possible, I'll keep working with him because he is just he's very professional. He's hilarious, but he can also tell you like kindly when you need to do better at something, but you don't feel like. Ooh, you know, you feel like, all right, yeah, you're right, Ben.
Yeah.
I can do better than that, and then you do, and so he gets a good performance out of you, and he's a pleasure to work with.
You're the
for sure.
scariest
That's-
soccer coach ever. Gives you like no validation. You just
I did
want them
so
to
many push-ups.
smile back. Yeah, and then the one day he gives you a high five back, you just cry in the minivan all the way home. Validation. Do you have any fun Ben stories? Did he ever like pop off? God, I want to know. I just want to know if he like threw a microphone or something. That would make me happy.
Well, one time I think that he probably wanted to throw a microphone at me. I walked in and he was like, "Oh, it's gonna be so easy. Kenzie's here. It's gonna be like one and done. It's gonna be so great." And for hours we were trying to like piece together this solo that I was like, "No, it's not just right. It's not just right." And he was like, "Oh," by the end he was like hitting
Yeah.
himself.
so it
but
wasn't
you-
even like him being a perfectionist. It was you being a perfectionist, and he was just like, God, can we
Yeah.
go home? Oh.
Yeah,
That
but
makes
then
sense, like
also,
Ben.
like Megan said, it's great that he's like, sometimes I'll play something, he's like, that was mediocre. And then it's like, all right, let's do it again.
One
That's-
more.
This is the title of Ben Levy's sex tape. That was mediocre. Would you guys like to
Sometimes
play a
it's
couple more songs for us?
Awesome, yeah.
Hops and Grain, give it up for Flack House.
Give it up.
Thank you. I'd like to point out that all of the songs that we're playing tonight, unless we do a fifth one, but the first four that we're playing were all recorded by Ben. So, yeah. This song is called Last Match. In the deep wilderness, amid the dark of the night, there's not much more one could hope for but the warm firelight. Somewhere in the wide endlessness blows the wind against my sharpest wits. The sun leaves me with just my will to live as the warmth bleeds on my fighting fingertips. Somewhere in the canyon of my heart, sitting I await a fateful spark. The wolves are closing in and out, but one chance left to give. I'm lighting my last match,
breathing on the kindling, wondering if I'm meant to last, pushing on the limits. I am fighting for the chance to set my soul on fire if it would catch. I burn many fires on display, but time works hard to take that light away. It's no easy task to keep yourself aflame. I ask my offer strength to take me farther than I'm able alone my own. Somewhere from the embers I emerge as the contender against my ending as it enters. I am born right in the center. I'm lighting my last match, breathing on the kindling, wondering if I'm meant to last, pushing on the limits. I am fighting for the chance to set my soul on fire if it would catch. Hope lifts, cold dips. I choose to persist. Time steals, light heals in my mind. They can't chill. Hope lifts, cold dips. I choose to persist. Time steals, light heals in my mind. They can't chill. Hope lifts, cold dips. I choose to persist. Time steals, light heals in my mind. They can't chill. Hope lifts, cold dips. I choose to persist. Time steals, light heals in my mind. They can't chill. I'm lighting my last match, breathing on the kindling, wondering if I'm meant to last, pushing on the limits. I am fighting for the chance to set my soul on fire if it would catch.
Thank you so much. All right, this next song is called Beautiful Things.
Got shit burning on the stovetop. My mind is 1,200 miles away. Heartaches keep coming and they don't stop. I ain't been around here more than 14 days. I got tortured hearts at every stoplight. Can tell if they need help or a quick high. And your face is gone from my sight. But I had it for a short time. I can't help but get inspired by these hard times. A joy tends to turn into disdain. And out of the pain comes these beautiful things. And out of these beautiful things comes pain. And there ain't no getaway. tried that convincing, no, I never mind. But it breaks my heart when I hear them cry. I can't help but get inspired by these hard times. The joy tends to turn into disdain. And out of the pain comes these beautiful things. And out of these beautiful things comes pain. Out of these beautiful things comes pain. And out of these beautiful things comes pain. And there ain't no getaway.
All right, Hops and Grain.
Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Flag House. Thank you. That was like the most soothing song we've ever had.
That was great.
Usually there's like, he and I don't know, I'm at least like running around like, I have to be up there. This time I was like, I'll take my sweet ass time. I was
You can
moseying
usually
up
find
there.
us in the store next to like the lavender bath salts and
Yeah.
those kinds of things.
Oh, genius. I'm going to have to
Candles.
next
bombs.
time. Now I know. It is Halloween coming up. Do you guys have any good scary stories?
Or costume ideas.
How much time do you have?
What? Nobody has any scary stories.
No, probably the most terrified I've ever been in my life was this past year for the eclipse. I drove, so I had a show here until 9 p.m. I just got in my car and I started booking it to South Carolina, where I was going to meet my friends in the middle of a national forest to watch the eclipse. And so I drove like pretty much straight through the night. I stopped to sleep for like 3 hours on my friend's couch, who wasn't even home. They knew I was coming though, and
Surprise.
and then I kept driving, and I hit Atlanta traffic. It was awful, and I ended up getting there 4 minutes before sunset. And in the past, I was camping up in Oklahoma, and I was on this like 8-mile route with my my person at the time, and we
Shall it not
we
be
got
named?
halfway through and realized the sun was setting, and we just ran 4 miles in like 15 minutes. It was insane. We ended up getting there before, it wasn't 15 minutes, it was probably more like 30 minutes, but we ended up getting there before the sun goes down. So I get there and I'm like, you know what, I've ran, because I had to hike in 3 miles. I was like, I've ran 4 miles in 30 minutes, and the sun doesn't really go down, until like after sunset. So I started sprinting into the forest by myself with no reception. No one knew where I was.
Yep.
No one knew that I even made it. I couldn't get a hold of my friends, and I get about a mile in, and it's really, really dark, and I'm in the middle of a national forest by myself. And I was just like, this is a terrible idea. So
Yeah.
I just started running out, and that's probably about when the adrenaline set in. And it was extremely terrifying.
Yeah.
This is how, that's how scary movies start.
That's the
Yeah,
plot.
that was
That's-
my thought. I was like,
Anxiety.
there's either a cougar or just a human being somewhere in this wood who's very malicious.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dark woods are the foundation of scary movies.
that is.
There we go.
Yeah.
By the way, we Googled that sex house. Y'all are depraved. Chris did. Chris Googled it. He's on a delay, so in 4 seconds he'll be laughing about the fact that I called him out for that. Yeah, he had that link. Ray knows. Ray knows. Do you guys have any favorite Halloween costumes you ever did as kids? What was your favorite one you ever did? Everyone's like, screw my childhood.
I was a calculator one year.
Oh
That's-
my
I wore
God.
a cow
you were a
costume with
nerd.
the buttons of a calculator on my cow costume.
My calculator costume, 80085. All
Boom.
day.
Boobs.
Child. That would be
Yeah.
me. It's fair. Anybody else?
My mom made really cool Halloween costumes. She had a phase, and one time she came to my middle school dressed up as Queen Amidala.
Hell
Was
yes.
like waving at the buses, and she made me a Padme costume. That was
I
fun.
love that. That's so extra. I feel like
Yeah.
like extra moms can go extra on Halloween only. Like that's the only time.
Oh, she's listening
no.
also, so that was
You
an
can be
awesome
extra
costume, Mom. I
whenever
loved
the hell
it.
you want, Mom. No, my mom made my costumes until we were all like too big, and she was like, your fat asses, I'm not making these damn costumes for anymore. I was a witch like 4 years in a row just because the cape was like one size fits husky middle schooler. It worked. It worked.
The hat stays on, so that's all that matters.
They say that, and then the neck fat goes up. It's a growing pain. So if you guys could make your dream Halloween costume, what would you be this year, or what are you gonna be this year?
Well, first, I want to know what Dom's favorite Halloween
I
costume
know. I want to
was.
know.
Yeah.
You don't have any fun Halloween memories?
I don't.
Zero. Nothing.
No. Not a fan.
Yeah, last year, Dom and I live in the same house, and last year the whole house was Pooh Bear characters. I was Tigger, of
Cute.
course, with my energy level, but Dom ended up being Christopher Robin, and it's just like I always
Interesting.
thought, grown up Christopher Robin, just smoking a J and just being.
You've
being
ruined it.
Relatively grumpy about being Christopher Robin because he was forced into it. And it was pretty entertaining for me. I don't know about you. I enjoyed that.
Here's the thing about Christopher Robin, though. He's got pants on. Pooh Bear does not have pants. So
It's creepy.
I would rather
That's
do
true.
Christopher.
Does anyone know how old the bear is? Nobody
No.
knows how old the bear is.
My man's just got a shirt, no bottom.
Because the bear doesn't age in the new movie, is all I'm saying. The bear's not any older looking in the movie. So, like, theoretically, like, Pooh could have been, like, 85, pantsless, hanging out with an 8-year-old
Yep.
Christopher Robin.
Yep.
And it's creepy.
Yep.
There's some Pooh that's made it millions of years and become fossilized, so who knows how old he is.
Oh, no. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I tried to ask about the scary questions. Noah had real scary ones. And now we're just, like, fantasizing about the death of Pooh. No, I'm not a fan. Okay. But that was going to be a fun one. What is anyone going to be for Halloween this year? No one answered.
I'm going to be driving back from Florida. That's my costume.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, driving back from Florida. I said the
Okay.
dragon guy from Florida. and
Yeah,
was
I
like,
have this whole car that I'm gonna like put on around me, and I'm gonna put gas in it, and it's just gonna drive all the way. It's gonna be crazy.
For a
Everyone's gonna be like,
Genius.
"There's, yeah."
For a second, I thought you were talking about that astronaut that drove or
Oh, the lady with the diaper?
Yeah.
To kill her lover?
Yeah. That would be a good costume.
That's not a bad
You'd have to
costume.
explain it.
If you wearing like I feel like if you go like full literal, just with like the astronaut helmet and the diaper, they'd be like, oh yeah, the
Yeah,
bitch
yeah.
that tried to kill someone and drove. I mean,
Drove
the
all
only
the way
other
to
person I
Florida.
know that wore a diaper like wasn't that who did that? Who did that filibuster wise? Who peed their pants for Planned Parenthood? Someone did. Someone Google that. It's a thing. What? Pelvic floors for Planned Parenthood. On that note, thank you guys so much for joining us. This was really fun. I'm gonna go out on pelvic floors for Planned Parenthood someday. Where are you guys gonna be this week? Where can we see you? Tell Facebook and the world how we can like and share all of your things.
Well, we are at Fleckhouse Music, and Fleckhouse is spelled F as in Frank, Lechaus. So at Fleckhouse Music, and that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Don't do Twitter though, because she never looks at it.
I don't really use
Ooh.
Twitter that
Yeah,
much, so
I
I would
don't
just
either.
do the
I
former
don't trust
two.
it.
And then fleckhouse.com is where you can find like lyrics and our bios and pictures and things like that, and our calendar. We are playing tomorrow at Carousel Lounge, 11 p.m. So for those of you who are into staying up late on a Wednesday, come on out. We're also playing the American Heart Association walk on Saturday morning.
Cool.
Yeah, so those are our two next shows.
There we go. So keep posted on that one, Facebook. Zach, what do you have coming up?
Next month I have my show Peep Show at Spider House.
I went last week. Hilarious.
It's a good time.
You're very bad at censoring penises.
Yeah. Well, we should explain what it is. Peep Show's a show. It's like where we do. It's like kind of like Mystery Science Theater, but for vintage porn. And we censor it, and I have to do it. I'm bad at it, so it's a good time. But that's.
It was great,
Yep.
actually. It was really funny because these two couples were negotiating group sex behind me the whole time.
Were
and it
they
was
really?
Yes.
We get some
it was-
weirdos there. We definitely get some
I
weirdos.
was the one that was standing by my corner watching vintage porn and people laugh at it. Like I was by myself, like in this corner, and then like four people come up and like, but you know what my favorite position is? That's Susan's favorite position. Fancy that? That was
Very casual about it. Yeah.
They were not as funny as y'all, but they were louder.
Yep. It's a rowdy, weird time, but that's every second Wednesday of the month at Spider House.
It's good shit.
Yep.
Please don't.
It's a good time.
A what?
Am I high when I do it? Yeah, probably. Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I was high when I went. That was pretty much the only.
It's the way to do
So
it.
were the group sexers behind me. They were blessed. Thank you so much for joining us here at Hops and Grain. Give it up to Hops and Grain once more for being our sponsors tonight
Hops
and
and
our
Grain,
hosts.
making phenomenal beer.
Yes, such good beer. Thank you to the bar staff. You guys are adorable and lovely. Thank you. Please tip your staff. It's important. We also have to thank New Standard Manufacturing for our super soft shirts. If you need super soft shirts, hit up New Standard Manufacturing. I did not say super soft shits. Thank God. Yay.
Yes.
Now I did. Also, 9 Banded Whiskey. Halloween's coming up. Get frisky. Drink some. I'm not good. Drink
No.
some 9 Banded.
Whiskey.
Yeah, drink
That's
some
good.
whiskey. Also, next week we're going to be in Austin Eastsiders with
Yes.
Curtis Lee. I almost said Curtis Young. I don't know who that was. I think he was my 8th grade boyfriend, but I'm not entirely sure. Give it up again to Hops and Grains for being here. Facebook, we're about to be out of here. They're going to do a private little singy song for the in-house. Give it up to my co-host, Zach Brooks.
Thank you.
And Music
Give it up.
Firsthand. Oh, thank you.
Give it for Becky Joe Neo, everybody.
Y'all have a nice night. Thank you very much. Click like and subscribe. Love you. Bye.
All right, so head over to CIMP.live and get your bonus videos, photos, merch, and more. And remember to give the podcast a 5-star rating. Every rating helps these artists get discovered by new fans. Find all the videos and past podcasts at musicfirsthand.live. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.